Okay, today corresponds to Chokur Tujin, that is Buddha Shakyamuni turned the wheel of Dharma. And as Lama Tsongkhapa very clearly indicated, that the Buddha, when anybody becomes Buddha, one performs the deeds for the benefit of all sentient beings. And of the deeds, there are three kinds of deeds: the bodily, verbal, and then mental. And of the three, the bodily, which is the speech, this is the most important. And today corresponds to the day the Buddha performed the deeds of the speech. Finally, said even if the Buddha was to perform miracles, what can the beings benefited? The beings will be drawn towards the Buddha. That's it. And then what actually transforms the beings, what actually helps the beings to be freed from suffering, is by removing the ignorance, removing the afflictions, contaminant karmas. How to remove these contaminant karmas and so forth, afflictions and so forth, is by instilling the counter forces. What are the counter forces? The wisdom, compassion, and so forth. And this comes to us only through somebody guiding us, somebody teaching us. And today, on this day, the Buddha performed these deeds of giving this guidance, giving this teaching on how to bring about transformation in one's own mind. What's the reality of life? Truth of suffering, truth of cause of suffering. How can we possibly come out of that? The truth of cessation of suffering and the truth of the path leading to cessation. So these the Buddha taught in great detail in the first 10 of Dharma, and today corresponds to this day. This is the day that we should really celebrate for the fact that the enlightened one, Prince Siddhartha, became enlightened just for this purpose, to lead the beings from darkness to the ultimate happiness. Okay, so with this in mind, if we learn how to celebrate the proper day, and just for information, I remember my teacher, Venerable Geshe Damdul, that when we go through the studies, the first day of the class, just as a beginner, he would really make everybody celebrate that day. And then when we start the Prasnaparamitra, the teaching, which is the Parichin on the six perfections, is the beginning of a new class meaning. And so you complete one section, and the next session, beginning a different text. Again, he would, we did not really have any material resources, but he would make sure that at least people have some special food to eat, and do some puja, to let the students feel that this is how we have to celebrate, not just your birthday, or of course there's no harm in celebrating birthday, but the one that really requires to be celebrated is to celebrate that you are growing, that you are going towards the source of the light, source of happiness, source of compassion. So this is what my teacher used to do, and today is really the time for us to celebrate. So in whatever way you would like to do some virtues, celebration, not drinking and so forth, celebration ways to just enjoy, just how to invoke your virtues within you. And today, of course, I think in the morning, there's when Bhagavan you are leading the puja. Yes. So doing some pujas and remembering the Buddha's qualities. So these are things that we need to do. And then in the afternoon, Tibet House, the Tibet House staff, they're very young. They're all very young. Maybe they are a little 1 or 2 years older than Thomas. Yeah. Otherwise, they're all very young. And they this is just, okay, Shila, since you are not here, and we can celebrate this Chogor by, doing this little bit of generosity. And this is individual's job, it's not the institution's job. Institution job is to do something larger, bigger, with a deeper meaning. So I said that usually what we do is we do the taking aspiration bodhisattva vow. So this is what we do usually. So we'll do the same thing. And then as the Venerable Elizabeth asked that we can do some teaching on the Four Noble Truths, because on this day the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths. So as a gesture of thanking the Buddha, as a gesture of remembering his kindness, we do a little bit of teaching on Four Noble Truths. So in a way, the program of Kalachakra and program of Tibet House, we club together. And this is what is going to happen. Anybody who's interested in this world, on this program, taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. Okay, so this is what we can do. And then recite the Buddha Shakyamuni's mantra more, Om Muni Muni Mao Muni Swaha, as many times as possible on this day. Okay, good. And finally, the two wings. The wing of the wisdom of emptiness and the wing of compassion, which is bodhicitta. If you can think of these two more, this is the best way by which to remember the kindness of the Buddha and to celebrate this day. Yeah. And somebody who is not exposed to any of these two teachings, just show them the nice face. Right? Good morning. Just give a little bit of smile. Why this was, why there is such joy in her face, why there is such joy in his face, why? And the person will feel also very happy. So why? So it is because that you are thinking of the Buddha, and this is how you are connecting beings to the Buddha. This is your share of giving joy, giving happiness, implanting the seed to take them to ultimate happiness. Okay, good. Buddha's mind, setting proper motivation. Refuge field. Visualize two kind parents. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. For example, say like Are Manjushri, Are Bharuguteshvara, Are Vajrapani, Are Tara, then the Are Nagarjuna, Are Bodhisattva, Are Deva, Acharya Chandrakirti, Bodhisattva Shani Deva, and the Arya Sangha, Acharya Vasubandhu, then Acharya Dignaga, Acharya Dharmakirti, and Bodhisattva Chandarakshita, and Acharya Kamalashil, then the Lama Selingba from Indonesia, Lama Deshadimagari Shri Gyana, then Guru Padmasambhava, Sajin Guanyingbo, Sajja Pandita, then the great saint Saraha, then Master Tilupa, Master Narupa, Chisun Marpa, Chisun Mela, Chisun Tapalache, and Lama Tsongkhapa, Gyaltsen Rinpoche, Kitu Rinpoche, all the enlightened beings in the space in front of you. So loving, caring, and embracing to you. And the more you think of their love and affection, compassion, the more you can visualize them, the more your refuge becomes stable and strong. The more strong your refuge is, the more stable your refuge, strong and stable your refuge is, it becomes sound ground for you to pursue through take all the vows of the Pradimoksha, Bodhisattva, Tantra, and so forth, and then your journey towards enlightenment becomes very stable and steady. Bodhicitta field. Visualize your two grandparents on the two sides, all your children, all your family members, and all Tiamata sentient beings, the human beings, animals, insects, Holy Ghost, hell beings, spirits, god and goddesses, here in France, in the world, in the entire universe. And here you are so loving, caring, and embracing to each of the dear sentient beings. To the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. And the purpose of this practice today, which corresponds to Chogot Tujin, the day the Buddha turned the first wheel of Dharma. This is a time where there's a hope we find the hope. The Buddha gave us a hope that we don't have to stay in the darkness of miseries all the time. Just this morning I got a news from somebody in Ladakh saying that a young girl's mother passed away in an accident. Anything can happen to us any time, any place. This is samsara. And the Buddha has shown us a way. Yes, there's a way out of this. So what is that way out? The Buddha nature is there within each one of us. Zero perfection is within each one of us. That only requires to be manifested. What is meant by manifested? This seed of the perfection, which is like a gold, is mixed with the mud of the mental defilement. Remove the mental defilements, and the gold inside will become manifest. How to remove the mental defilements? First, we need to know the nature of the mental defilements. And the mental defilements, there are two. One is very gross, and the one is very subtle. The gross, like the solid garlic. And the remove the solid garlic is way easier. Remove the solid garlic, wash it so well, wash the container so well. You smell it, it still smells garlic. That is the subtle mental defilement of the mind. So, the gross one of the mental defilements is referred to as the afflictive obscurations. This stops us from achieving nirvana, fearlessness. Whereas the subtle stains, subtle mental defilements are referred to as the cognitive obscurations. These stop us from achieving Buddhahood. So our job is to remove these mental defilements. So with the determination to remove the mental defilements, for the benefit of all dear sentient beings, for that you become the full enlightened Buddha, and thereby to benefit all dear sentient beings. Imagine that you are leading this recitation, the prayers, and all dear sentient beings are joining us. Okay, with this mind, let us turn to English, page 3. And His great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And His great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And His great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanje juda zoge chonam no chanju bardo dane yanzu je dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benjere sanje jubara isho Sanje juda zoge chonam no chanju bardo dane yanzu je Dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benjere sanje jubare sho Sanje jula zoge jonam no chanju bardo dane gyabzo je dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benjere sanje jubare sho I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification of complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths, course, souls, helping migrants to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience help subdue and expound a varieties of teachings, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sukada and protector to your ministrations, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations, and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I chant the mother full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma heto prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat Desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat Desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat Desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I return to the woods. Beyond utterance, the thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times of your obeisance. 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcendent sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. Instruction on departing from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the 4 destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When all supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, the pace of 7 strides, then said, I'm supreme in this world, to you who are wise then and prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you are prostrate. Dusty like you, the three worlds are not. Incompatible wise one, to you are prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one part, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies and prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the four falls, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, Heart Sutra, page 29. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate without a trouble gem. Thus did I hate at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on a massive vulture's mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the bodhisattva, mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom, and behold those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness is empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unseen, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object to touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging in death, and no extinction of aging in death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifest a complete awakening to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment and reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Tiyatha Om Gade Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, saying: well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you've indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and in highly praise that spoken by the Buddha. Just imagine that each one of us, we are in Rajgir, the place where the Buddha presided over, and this Heart Sutra was endorsed by the Buddha in the form of the dialogue between Avalokiteshvara and Shariputra, and attended to by the thousands of monks, nuns, bodhisattvas and lay devotees. Imagine you are there right from the Buddha Shakyamuni, and listening to this. And imagine that your two parents, your children, all the dear sentient beings there with you. Deota Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer ignorance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. 8 verse of mind training, page 35, English. 8 verse of mind training, Geshe Damdul, with the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the visual fulfillment gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer a benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all of this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my true collections, vast space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this great practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds minds blinded with ignorance. 7 Puja. Except from the King of Prayers, extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the youthful Arya-Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you, with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas, visualize this real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas, numberless as atoms. Each of me is a host of Bodhisattvas. I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspect of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music scented walls and pedestals, sparkling lights and sublime incense are offered to you, victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings and spectacular array offered to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion, all these openly lay bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds of 10 directions, who have attained a Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and the well-being of all the wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostration, offering, and confessing, rejoicing, requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I am now dedicate all this merit for the awakening of all beings. Okay, mantle offering. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha filled and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajebe Ge Jo She Men Do Ta Re Ra Le She Nyen De Gyam Ba De Sangye Shen Do Me De Bu Wa Yin Chogun Nam Da Shen Lai Chu Ba Rai Sho. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. And may I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasps the true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as vicious and repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Radna Mende Lagam Niradeyame. The foundation of all good qualities. Foundation of all good qualities, Pelamat Sankapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and a perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, and alertness, in great question arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice this bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified part of karma body, especially inside. Having become a pure vessel by training in the external path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separate from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages of the paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay, mix of a mantra. We'll first read the English or the French, followed by the Tibetan. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of this stage of the land of the snows, lobsang by your feet and make prostrations. Lo sa ta be shabla so va de me me ze ve pe che che re se che me ke be Om Bo Jan De Yam Khan Jen Ke Be Zu Ye Zo Ga Ba Lo Sa Ta Be Sham La So Va De Me Me Ze Ve Pe Che Che Re Se Te Me Ke Be Won Bo Jan De Yang Sachabe Shamlai Sovade. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-reverential compassion, a Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroy hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Lobsang Taba at your feet and make prostrations. Okay, next, generating the mind of consummate yoga, the 4 meditations. The first single point of meditation. Okay, a quick reminder for all of us the meditation. Finally, it is to awaken the Buddha nature by removing the mental dirts. And how to remove the mental dirts is by resorting to very powerful remedies. And the remedies are of 2 kinds. One is known as the liberating path, and the others are known as the ripening paths. What is the liberating path? Let's say that if you have to cut the poison stream, there's an axe there, then the woodcutter there, and the woodcutter has to eat food, woodcutter needs a house, and also has to drink water every now and then. But what actually cuts is the axe, not the woodcutter. But the woodcutter is required, the water is required, the food is required, the house is required, and the way to sit, to rest, all these things are required. These are known as the ripening factors, the factors to assist this axe to cut the poison stream. So likewise, all other meditations, all other practices, they are referred to as the ripening factors, ripening paths, and it is only the wisdom of emptiness which is the liberating path. This is like the axe to cut the mental defilements. So this wisdom of emptiness, this wisdom should have 2 qualities. One is that this wisdom must be very bright for us to read the books, and that the wisdom should be very steady and stable. It should not be flickery. So likewise, the wisdom, our mind, to remedy the mental defilements, this wisdom must be extremely sharp wisdom to know the reality as it is. It should not be knowing just the shallow reality, but the deepest of the reality, which is the emptiness of objective reality. And also that this wisdom must be very steady. So what we're doing now is to build the steadiness, the quality of the steadiness, which is required to be incorporated in this wisdom to see the reality. Okay, and this most of you are from the earlier these sessions, so I'm going to just quickly remind us of the 4 points to remember when we do the single point of meditation. 4 points. Number 1 is body posture. Number 2 is focal point. Number 3 is identifying the mistakes or the errors of meditation. And finally, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. The body posture was the most important thing is, if you are a long-term meditator, so you're long-term meaning that you do your meditation every day, be it like say 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. If you do every day, then unless you have knee problem, sitting cross-legged, that too with the left foot on your right leg and the right foot on your left leg. So this will be very helpful to sustain you longer in this meditation. And the backbone, of course, when you do that, if you're a beginner, you may feel a little bit of pain. When you start to feel the pain, again relax till the pain goes away. Once the pain goes away, again bring it back, and gradually the pain will be no more there with you. Okay, this is one thing. But if you cannot sit cross-legged, it's not mandatory. This is just an additional feature for us. Next part, which is so important, is body upright. Body must be upright. So oftentimes we tend to lean against the support. So this is where the meditation does not happen, number 1. Number 2, that we tend to just sit like this in a very comfortable position. This is not a good position. Just sit upright, particularly for the meditation. And even otherwise as well, learn how to sit upright. This is so important. And then the leaning against the support. If you have a backache problem, that's different. Some people who sit for, say, meditation for long hours, do prayers for long hours, naturally you will have some body pain, backache. When you have this, then you can lean against support. That pain will reduce. Okay, if that's if that's what is happening, fine. Otherwise, try your best not to lean against the support. By the way, when we do the meditation, how many meditation, long hours of sitting, how many of you start to have the backache? Raise hands. Okay, so when you have backache, this would be very good exercise to remove the backache problem. Backache problem not because of the injury, because of the meditation. I say one time during the lockdown, everybody has to sit at home and read books, and then some of them complain about their backache. And one lady said that, now the world is so gloomy, Geshe, what's happening? And I was just wondering what happened. And then I was listening to her more, and finally she was saying that I was sitting, I saw her back. Okay, it's not that the world is gloomy, it's because you have the backache problem. So I said, how to fix this world, the gloomy world, is easy. So I taught her how to do the meditation, not meditation, exercise. And then in 2 days' time, she wrote back saying that, wow, the pain is gone and the world is nice again. Yeah. And there was another girl, one of my relatives, one of the nieces in America, and she was crying, saying that I have so much pain, the back pain, and crying and telling her parents also that I have so much pain. And the parents told me. Then I again taught the practice, and her problem solved, and she was teaching this to many other people. Okay, so that's very simple. What we do is that first the body upright, and the two hands should be on your knees. The two arms straight. Okay. Then what you do is that first you bend your left arm. But keep your right arm straight. And the right shoulder, bring it forward. Okay, like this. Right shoulder, bring forward, and make sure that your arm is straight. Bring forward, and your left arm can be a little bent, and the shoulder, try to reach out to the left knee as much as possible. And some young people can touch it. If we cannot, don't worry. But the only thing is just stretch. Make sure that Dr. Patrick, keep your right hand straight. Good. The right hand should be straight, and try to bend down with your left hand bent, and try to do it 1, again up, again 2, and again 3. Okay, you see that your back is being stretched. Okay, so likewise do the same thing. And the left arm straight. Now with the left arm straight, left shoulder come out, and the right arm bend. Okay, first let's do this, and keep the left arm straight, and the left shoulder bring it forward like this, and the right shoulder can go back. Good. Now left shoulder and the right knee 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you feel this stretching at the back, if you feel a little pain or stretching, it's a pleasant pain. The back, when you start little pain, is a very pleasant pain. You feel that it's a healing pain. Okay, this is what you do. Again, let's do it with the right shoulder. 1, And sit up. Again. 2. Again sit up. 3. Good. Now the left. 1. 2. 3. Okay, good. Again, right. 1. 2. 3. Left. 1. 2. 3. Good. Okay, so do it right. Right shoulder, do it. I'll see. Right. 1. Yes. Right. 1. 2. 3. And left. 1. 2. 3. Okay. How many you at least felt some, say, the sensation wise, little pain or relaxation? Just resents. Okay, good. So when you feel the pain, or otherwise you can do it. Even without pain, you can also do that. So when you start to have a little bit of pain, long sitting, do this, it removes the pain. Okay, good. And the number 1 is the 2 things which is most important in your meditation, body posture wise. Number 1 is sitting upright. Sit upright. And if you start to have a little bit of pain, you can do this exercise. And even with exercise, if the pain persists, then you can sometimes rest yourself, lean against support. Otherwise, stay away from leaning against the support. Then eyes not closed. Number 2, don't close your eyes. And okay, when you become good at meditation, after a very serious, authentic meditation done for, say, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, then you will gain some confidence. When you gain the confidence, with eyes closed, with eyes lying down, when they do running, you can do the meditation. But for the beginners, always keep your eyes open. And when I say there are 2 meditations. One is single point meditation, other is the analytical meditation. For the analytical meditation, where your mind has to actively think, so there, sometimes if you close your eyes, still there's no danger that you will fall into laxity or excitement. But for the single point of meditation, your eyes must be opened, kept opened. And for the Mahamudra practice, once in a while, for a very specific reason, you might have to keep your eyes closed. Sometimes, once in a while, very short duration of time to observe your mind, to keep your minds and their eyes closed, and then keep it open. So they are such situations. Otherwise, particularly for the Mahamudra meditation, your eyes must be open. There could be short durations here and there, short time here and there, where you have to keep your eyes closed, just to do a little bit of comparison of how the mind appears when eyes open, when eyes close. Otherwise, if you keep your eyes closed, the tendency for you to easily slip into laxity will happen, particularly when you do the Mahamudra practice. Okay, so since the audience is more for the Mahamudra, the teaching, this is one that I'm giving you. For the Mahamudra practice, your eyes must be really open. Okay. This one thing, and the 2 things, most important thing, the body upright, not leaning against support, and the eyes half open. These 2 are the most important things. Other things, yeah, it's fine, like hand gesture, all these things, they are not that. Even if you sit like this, also fine. But the hand gesture, of course, there's a purpose. This is known as the Vajrachanas, postures, 7 Vajrayana postures. This is a Buddha's posture. This is so auspicious for us. But even without this, it's also fine. Sometimes lying down also you can do meditation. But don't expect that at this moment. Only when you become expert in meditation, when you're very serious with meditation, where for you the meditation is the most important thing. When you feel that, and then at that point you lie down, you can do meditation. Whereas in your mind, meditation is just secondary. And lying down is more important. Lie down, you'll fall asleep. You cannot meditate. Okay, then the focal point. For the focal point, what we said is that 2 things happening. You choose either one, or you can go for both. The one is just counting the breath. There are so many versions of this focal points. Don't think that one is better over the other. They're all good as long as they're coming from the authentic sources. So the one is just counting the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2. So this is how we just count the breath. Multitasking. The second point accompanying that. So while you count the breath, you also visualize a tiny white dot. Tiny white dot, like a paper. You make a hole, and a small tiny bit, the page comes out. So that tiny round thing, imagine that it is there, but in the form of a nectar, in the form of the radiating light. This is what you should be visualizing between nose and upper lip. And your mind should be focusing there. Your eyes should not be looking at it. Your eyes for 5 minutes cast down, ignore. Your mental comment, for example, okay, let us all scratch your back. Scratch without looking at it. Scratch it. Okay, do you feel the scratch? Do you feel the scratch? When you say yes, your mental consciousness is operating, not your eyes. So that mental consciousness which says yes, that is the one which we are to employ to meditate. So that mental consciousness is going to watch this, not your eye consciousness. Okay, so the two things should happen together. But technically speaking, in a very strict sense, these are not happening together. But in the conventional, ordinary, very gross sense, these 2 things can happen together, will happen together, can happen together. Okay, so that is your focal point. And whereas over an extended period of time, like 1 week, 2 weeks time, if you think that no, I cannot do both, then you go for one. Otherwise, initially, don't give up easily. Try both. Okay, then number 3 and number 4, extremely important. Number 3 and number 4. Number 3, identify the errors of meditation. What mistakes can you make when you meditate? Many people, they fall into these mistakes. They don't identify the mistakes. And in fact, it was I think about 4 or 5 years ago, when we were doing the Bodhicitta retreat in the Pune, in one of the cities of India. Pune, we did this retreat, group retreat. And one boy, young boy, who must be 23, he said that he has been doing this, the Vipassana, 10-day Vipassana course. And because of this, he just continued meditating for the next 3 years, which means he must have started when he was 20, for 3 years. And he shared one experience. That is, I'm really impressed by him. So what he said is that over these 3 years of the continuation of meditation on what he learned from the 10-day Vipassana course, that earlier he used to be a little hyper, easily getting excited. So that calmed down. That's very positive result. But there's another thing that happened, which he noticed, that his proactivity also disappeared. Proactivity, where, say, okay, if there's a little dirt there, okay, I'll go to help, or I'll help you. So this proactivity, taking the initiative, that dissolves. The mind is just really relaxed, happy, but then this activity of the mind, that is not happening. So this is a danger. So in his case, this is a danger. It's very severe danger. At the same time, for ordinary people meaning who just do meditation to calm down, for calming effect, for them it's fine. But for somebody like, I want to become Buddha, I want to attain the nirvana and so forth, I want to meditate in emptiness, for these people this is wrong, because emptiness is an extremely fine object which your mind has to find it. Your mind should be so agile, so dexterous, and the very fine mobility should be there. And where this mind is so inactive, peaceful but inactive, no proactivity there, mind is not readily moving there, this is a great danger. Particularly from the Bodhisattva path, you are deliberately training the mind, how the mind should be, the way the man in which Lama Tsongkhapa explained, that you should conquer your mind. You should conquer your mind to the extent that when you want the mind to sit, it should sit like a Mount Meru. No, nothing can move it. If you want the mind to move, it should move as fast as the running horses. As a running horse. So in those days, no cars, no jets. The horses as the metaphor for the fastness. So it should run as fast as agile as the very good running horses. So this is the example given. So there, this proactivity, where you want it to sit, it should sit. Nothing should be able to move you. For example, like the source of attachment, anger, aversion, so forth, anything, whatever things come to you, your mind remains so firm, not affected, no involuntary pull and push. When it's to move into emptiness, come out emptiness, move to emptiness, so fast, you should be able to do it. So there, if the mind is so slow, then, hey, the bodhisattvas, they have to train to practice the 173 topics, meditate on 173 topics within a span of 1/60th of the snap of a finger, duration of snap of finger. Within that duration, just, I think it is about like 13 milliseconds. Within that duration, one should be able to meditate 173 different topics without altering the sequence. This is a training. And if the mind is very slow, emptiness, okay, finish. How can you do the 173 topics within a single moment? So this kind of, so these are the things where, particularly from the Bodhisattva path, one to become Buddha, you should be extremely careful with point number 3 and point number 4. What are the errors of meditation? Errors of meditation 2. One is mental laxity, which is inactivity of the mind. Others is mental excitement, which is overactivity of the mind. So these are the two problems. So this laxity can make your mind extremely slow and will not have this proactivity. And the excitement of the mind has a problem that it cannot really focus on a particular object for an extended period of time. Okay, so these are the mistakes or the errors of meditation, and how to get rid of these two mistakes. Number 4, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. What are the remedies? Twofold: introspection and mindfulness. Introspection is to keep an eye on the mind to see if your mind is still meditating, or is distracted, or in a sleep mode. You have to check it, and if you see that it is distracted or in a sleep mode, then apply the mindfulness. Bring the mind back to the intended object of meditation. Okay, ready? 5 minutes. Next is the renunciation, and we do that on the basis of the meditation of 4 seals. Okay, this is going to be analytical. Follow the instructions and see how much you can on the reflection meanings and invoke the respective experiences. Okay, renunciation. Renunciation meaning is to renounce your miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the cause of the miseries. And the cause of miseries, finally, as identified by the Buddha himself, further explained by Nagarjuna, the contaminant karmas, afflictions, inappropriate tension, and the self-grasping ignorance. And all these we see boil down to the 4 misconceptions. First, misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent, impure phenomena as pure, and the suffering nature as of happiness, and finally, what is selfless nature as of selfhood. We have to fix these 4 misconceptions. For the first, the Buddha taught all composite things impermanent. Once in a while in a life to think about impermanence is very important. The people who you know in the past, some of them already left the world. Remember them. And you're also growing older. Year by year we become older. No doubt we're heading towards this day. And the beautiful moments, they also disappear. 200 years in the past, there are so many people, young, old, rich, successful, educated and so forth, and many of them fighting over their properties, fighting over the position and so forth. Where they now, not even a single person is left, they're all gone. This is a part of the impermanence. And believe it or not, it may not be too convenient, it may not be too comfortable to think about 200 years in the future, which is not too far away. 8 billion human beings today, not even a single person will be left then. That's for sure. And this impermanence, where there is a discontinuation of the continuum of the phenomena, is possible only if there is a change happening within. The change that you see over the span of 10 years, 20 years is possible if the change is happening on a yearly basis, which in turn is possible only if there is change happening on the monthly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute basis, second basis, millisecond basis. Which means all composite things, the way the Buddha indicated, all composite things are going through momentary change, minute by minute, second by second, millisecond by millisecond. And at times, I would highly recommend each one of us to press the timer on a mobile, to press the stopwatch on a mobile and see how the digits move. Seeing is believing. This is how we see that all composite things in the body, although they seem so static, and actually they're moving at that pace. And when you realize this, it's quite scary. And this fear at this moment help us to get into the bigger fear and the shock later when you actually see this happening. So with this we see that the whole world is moving so fast. Your body's moving so fast. You're aging so fast. And there's so much fear. It is like somebody threw you in a very fast moving train. The faster the train moves, the more the fear. Who decides where this train is taking you? The fear is because the faster the train moves, the more the fear. The fear is because you don't know where this train is taking you. Who decides where this train is taking you? The driver. And if the driver is your mother, father, no doubt it will take you to the picnic spot. Whereas if it is driven by the terrorists, or is under the sway of the terrorists, control of the terrorists, no doubt it will take you to a slaughterhouse. In our case, the driver is none other than mind. Unfortunately, this mind is under the sway of the worst of the contaminations, self-grasping ignorance, and its offshoots, such as inappropriate attention, gross afflictions, contaminant comments, and so forth, all complemented by the self-centered attitude. As long as we are under the sway of this contamination, we'll never be happy. We'll continuously have miseries. Miseries like what? Sickness, aging, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, and so forth. One moment of such misery is good enough to nullify all the past moments of merriments and so forth. Indeed, extremely painful to think about these. This morning, a young girl, her mother met with an accident. She passed away. And extremely ill, she felt lost. This is what happens to all of us. When will this stop? When will these miseries stop? Yes, it's so agonizing to think of these, let alone experiencing them. So when will these stop? They will never stop on their own unless we put effort, whatever effort. Track the cause of these miseries, which is ignorance, and introduce a counterforce. Put effort to introduce counterforce. What is that? The cause, ultimate cause, self-grasping ignorance. How to get rid of this? By introducing a counterforce of the wisdom. What is this wisdom? Wisdom is the mind whose apprehension of the object tells you reality. What's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. What is emptiness, selflessness? Okay, let's quickly meditate on emptiness. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person you identified as meditating, this person's I, how does this person appear to you? Like a dream that your mind is creating this self, or the self is so objectified, solidified there. Yes, of course, it's so objectified there. This belief that this exists so objectified that this is misconception, this is self-grasping ignorance, this is the worst of the contaminations. Okay, how can I know that this is the ignorance? How can I know that this is not the reality? Okay, if the self does exist objectively, then remember what Arjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if the self were to exist objectively, why don't I see the self as we go closer to the object? Okay, now let us imagine that we go closer to the object. Going closer to the object, whatever is not the self, just let us ignore them. What we see is a thin layer of the skin, then the fatty tissues, muscles, cartilages, bones, the whole skeleton, heart, the lungs, the liver, the spleen, pancreas, stomach, intestine. All these parts constitute the solid part, the element of earth. None of the element of earth is the self. Next, element of water. 4 liters of blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to the different parts of the body. Of course, it is not this self. Ignore this. Element of fire. 2,500 joules of energy that a body has. Of course, that is not the self. Keep that aside. Element of air. 4.6 liters of air that we breathe in and out through our lungs. Of course, that is not me. Keep that aside. Element of space. 99.9% of our body is just space. It's vacuum. Of course, that is not me. I'm a solid person. The space is vacuum in nature. What is left now? Only the mind is left, or the consciousness. And consciousness is also not me, because I'm a male, I'm a female. The consciousness does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. And people can see me. People cannot see my mind. So this mind or the consciousness is also not me. Okay, now what are you seeing? You have come too close to this object under this ultimate analysis, and we discovered that none of these 6 elements is the self. Just if there's a self which is different from these 6 elements, if the self does exist objectively, remove the 6 elements, nothing is left there. Okay, none of 6 elements is identified as intrinsically one with the self, no different from the 6 elements are identified as the self. So where's the self from the object now? From the object there's nothing left as the self. Stay in this experience for a while. It doesn't mean that the self doesn't exist. Self does exist, but it doesn't exist objectively from the object. Stay in this experience. Okay. This experience of the emptiness, yes, is so profound. But what benefit do I have? Yes, just as this self is seen not to exist in the eyes of the wisdom of emptiness, likewise all your sorrows including sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, and so forth, if subjected them to ultimate analysis, we will see that they are all just empty of objective existence. They're all like illusion. They're all dissolved in the experience of emptiness. That's amazing. Just try to remain in the experience of the emptiness where all your sorrows dissolve, all your sorrows are transcended. Okay, so the moment the sorrow is dissolved, your mind, your heart will become so light. There's absolute peace that you experience. This is what is meant by transcending sorrows, absolute peace. And the desire to attain that state, desire to experience this state is known as renunciation. This is the ultimate meaning of renunciation. Just try to feel this desire. May I experience this emptiness where all my sorrows are transcended, where all my sorrows dissolve, where the peace is experienced. Just remain in this aspiration to attain this realization, that experience. This is renunciation in true meaning. Okay, slowly we move to the bodhicitta practice on the basis of the 4 immeasurables. Ready? For the bodhicitta practice, let us reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas again. We need tremendous the support and the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who are so happy, proud of you, seeing that you are cultivating, you are making the most out of this Chokro Tuchen. And imagine that your 2 parents, your children, all their dear mothers and beings are with you. You are inspiring them to practice bodhicitta with you, and they're so happy to join you. So we'll do this on the basis of the 4 immeasurables. First, immeasurable loving kindness. Here, although it can be very superficial, it doesn't matter, but you must try to invoke the experience to the best you can. It is through mimicking that eventually it will become real. This is the meaning of the practice. Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Causes of happiness primarily consisting of the wisdom of emptiness and the bodhicitta, the unconditional love of bodhicitta. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that we are making such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate omniscient minds to send forth nectar very swiftly towards you and the ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectar with the body speaks yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness within you and all demon sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the demon sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. Cause of suffering primarily consists of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, along with the offshoots in the form of inappropriate attention, gross afflictions, and the contaminant karmas. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, like the mother, after all these many years of hardship in bringing her children, raising her children. Today, the eldest daughter, just aged 12, and the eldest son, aged 11. They come to the mother, tell the mother, "Mother, please take rest. You have done everything for us. We're all grown up. We'll take care of my siblings." And the mother could not believe her eyes and ears. She was so happy, so proud of you. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, to see that you have made such a courageous commitment and to benefit all the demon sentient beings. This pride and happiness all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invoke their compassionate omniscient minds to send for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all demon sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the body speaks yours, washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us, all the demon sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dear sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. Now, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, seeing that you make such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassionate omniscient minds to send for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all demon sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the body speaks yours, stabilizes the happiness and the cause of happiness the beings are endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the demon sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in a great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear mother sentient beings with total love and affection, leaving none aside. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion to others. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion to others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that we make such a courageous commitment to free the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to us and aversion to us others, they are so intensely happy. This happened in pride of invoke the compassionate omniscient minds to send forth very soothing lights and nectars towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the body space in yours frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to us and aversion to us others, and instead making them abide in a great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear mother sentient beings' total love and affection, leaving none aside. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the dear mother sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sound relief. Underscoring all the five immeasurables is unconditional love towards all dear mother sentient beings. Just abide in this unconditional love. With folded hands, let us make the Buddhist commitment, which is the most beautiful mind in this world, 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Just abide in this experience of the totally fearless, very courageous, as the most beautiful mind that exists in the universe. This unconditional love bodhicitta. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of bodhicitta into a spotless skin, white moon disk, horizontally sitting at your heart. Okay, this is amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha, but how can you become Buddha? Yes, I have the Buddha nature within me. But why did you not become Buddha till now, since time immemorial? Yes, that's because I'm being deceived by these 2 demons, self-grasping and self-centered attitude. Today I'm disillusioned by these 2. I'm going to do everything to exterminate the 2 demons. What are you going to do? Yes, I'm going to introduce a very powerful remedy to overcome these 2, so that I can become enlightened, to become Buddha. What kind of remedies? Okay, let us quickly recall the meditation on the emptiness. What are you doing? I'm meditating. How does this self appear to you? Like a dream? The subject real? Or as object real, so solid from that nothing would to my mind? Yes, it appears so solid from the object, nothing to do with my mind. This belief is the self-grasping ignorance. Remember what Nagarjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If this self would exist objectively, why do not see this self is go closer to the object? Going closer to the object with the help of the ultimate analysis. What do you see? You just see the element earth, solid part of the body, element water, the blood, element air, element space, element of consciousness. Which of the 6 elements is the self? None. None is to be identified intrinsically one with the self. If none of these 6 elements to be identified as the self, then see if it is different from the 6 elements. Removing the 6 elements, nothing is left there as a self. Okay, where is this self from the object now? From the object, there's nothing, there's a self. Stay in this experience for a while. This is not what you're inventing, this is what you're discovering. This is what the Buddha has discovered. The Buddha did not invent it. Okay. Slowly transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the Montesquieu heart. Okay, that's amazing that you have the Vajra moon. Moon symbolizing the conventional bodhicitta to exterminate self-centered attitude. Vajra symbolizing the wisdom of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness, or the ultimate bodhicitta to eradicate the self-grasping ignorance and all the afflictive and incarnative aspirations. Amazing. This guarantees that you become Buddha for the benefit of demon sentient beings. Yes, you're going to be freed from all the fears. You're going to have the infinite expansive happiness. But let's not forget that your 2 parents are there, all your children are there, all the demon sentient beings are there. Yes. So with great compassion towards them, this compassion invoked the Vajra in your heart to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend and merge with the one that visualize them that you share one set of the Vajra moon from this innumerable replicas of the Vajra moon from your heart. One share with your mom at her heart, one share at the heart of your dad, one share with each one of your children, one share with each of the demon sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, honeygoats, hell beings, spirits, god and goddesses, here in France, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. All the sentient beings have a share of the Vajra moon at their heart because of you. Okay, I'm so glad. Let's not forget that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are watching us with so much love and affection. Why not we invite the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas on this day of the Chogor-Tujin, the day the Buddha Shakyamuni turned the Buddha of Dharma, that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness and guests to our undertaking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow on this holy sacred day. So I suggest we make a request to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness and guests. Along with all the other sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. On your right knees, English page 50. The first verse 3 times, and let us reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us. So loving, caring, embracing. And imagine that you are like a very young child, age 5 or age 6, and for the first time in your life you are making public performance on behalf of your school, and your parents are so proud of you, and you are a little nervous, but your parents are so proud of you. They leave all their works, they come as a part of the audience there, waving their hands to you to say that we are here, we are proud of you. And this is what you're doing here. You are taking the expression Bodhisattva vow, and you are encouraging, you are inspiring, you are bringing all your siblings, all the dear sentient beings with you to make the greatest meaning out of life, to go from light, from the darkness to the light, from the suffering to the happiness, to the state of, from the state of fear to the fearlessness. This is what you are doing to yourself and to all, for all your dear sentient beings who are joining you in this practice. And the verse says that given that this is a journey, a very important journey which you have never undertaken before, you need great support. So the first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. The Triple Gem. There is nothing greater support than the Triple Gem. And this journey, the journey involves the road. Road must not be blocked by the boulders and trees. Likewise, our mind is the road of the journey to enlightenment. And this mind must not be blocked by the negativities. So to remove these negativities, second line says, I confess the negativities individually. And then the road is clear. But if the car does not have the fuel, you cannot undertake the journey. The car should have the fuel, enough fuel, and this car is none other than your own mind. And your mind should have the fuel of the virtues and the merits. And best way by which to do so within a short span of time is by rejoicing in the virtues of others. So third line reads, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. So now the road is clear, the car is enough fuel. What kind of journey am I going to undertake? I'm going to enter the journey of the Buddhahood. So the fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, let's say this 3 times together. Imagine that you are encouraging all the beings, and all sentient beings are so happily joining you. And all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas are watching us. Like the way your parents are watching you when you do the first performance in your life. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, next two paragraphs, and the verses. The first verse says, okay, how can I become Buddha then? So if you look in the history of humanity, we see the Buddha Shakyamuni and the past Buddhas who succeeded in this journey. How did they succeed? For 2 factors. The first, they made a very strong and courageous commitment, the motivation of the bodhicitta, the very strong wish to become Buddha. And then after having generated this mind, to materialize this aspiration, they actually engaged in the Bodhisattva practices, 6 perfections, and that then the 4 perfections making 10. The perfection of generosity, perfection of ethics, perfection of patience, perfection of enthusiasm, perfection of meditate concentration, perfection of wisdom, perfection of skillfulness, perfection of aspiration prayers, perfection of the power, perfection of the primordial wisdom. So this is how they engaged in these 10 perfections and they become Buddha. So if this is how they succeeded in undertaking this journey, I will also follow the footsteps by journeying very strong the motivation bodhicitta to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, and to materialize this aspiration will engage in the 10 perfections. Okay, this what we're going to be mindful of, and on the third repetition, completion of the third repetition, just feel the joy of having received the auspicious Bodhisattva vow on this auspicious day of Chogutujin. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as has successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the Bodhisattva practices. Just feel the joy over having received the aspiration bodhisattva vow. We are so fortunate. And indeed, this is the gift that you can possibly give to all the sentient, multi-dimensional sentient beings. And you today, you gifted them with this, and this is the offerings that you can make to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The Buddha said that one moment of generated compassion far excels you make the offering of the whole world system is filled with the gems to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case, then the one dimension of our having taken the aspiration bodhisattva vow, this is the greatest offering to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And this is the greatest extraction, this is the greatest meaning of your life. And today you extracted the meaning. You've given such great meaning to your life. And this all happens because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand to make 20 prostrations to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, meanwhile, let's not forget the one part left. That the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they feel so proud of this, that you have extracted the greatest meaning out of life. They are so happy. Since time immemorial, we have been only making the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas sad by engaging in negativities. And today the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they feel so proud. And this pride and happiness the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invoke the Vajramon, the full-fledged, in the full-fledged form, to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one. The Vajramon from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes your heart, thereby becoming non-dual with the one due to which your heart, stabilized and blessed. Likewise, all the blessings, all the blessings that form the Vajramon, the replicas, innumerable of them, from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, each of the sentient beings here in France, in the world, in the whole universe, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized and blessed. And this is so precious on this day of the Chotujin. The merit that we engage in, the virtues that we engage in will be multiplied many-fold. This is what happens today. So this all happens because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture, thank all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Let us slowly stand up to make 20 prostrations along with all the sentient beings. Okay, English, page 51. In order for us to connect with this teaching Buddhism, wisdom, and emptiness, even in the future lifetimes, we include that in the form of a very powerful prayer. That is the first verse, page 51. And let us wholeheartedly say this, and imagine all the dimensions with you, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of us. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhisattvas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhisattvas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhisattvas even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this Bodhisattva from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of Bodhisattva in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit, having well obtained this human existence. I've been born in the family of a Buddha and now I'm one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. As the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereign of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates poverty, all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is a tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is a universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is a dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is a great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is a quintessential butter from the channel of the middle of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in His supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, the Venerable Jimbala is asking me if I can give the oral transmission of the 8-verse mind training in Tibetan, and particularly for the people who were absent yesterday, and the Magali and Evelyn, and then the one girl over there who came yesterday. Okay. So this, 8-verse mantra, I'll say this in Tibetan, for the oral transmission. Dāne simjā tamjā lā, ishe nōpe lē lā bē, dōnjō chōpe sāmbā yin, tātō jīmbar zimbar shō, khāndō sōdān chōpe sē, dānyi guṇā mēndā shīn, shēn lā sāmbā tāpā yin, rāne chōtō zimbar shō, chōlam guṇdō rāñyū lā, tōjī nyōmō kēmāt, dāshīn mā rū jibē nā, zindab dōne dōbar shō, rāñshīn yinbē simjā dā, tītō chabē nōdōn sē, rīñjē tātā chēpā tarā nyebra kāwē jīnzī shō, dālā shīngē chātō kī, shēgū lā sō mē rē bē, gyōngā rāngē lēmbā Yewa Jinla Bivarjo, Hana Dagi Pena Be, Rawa Chewa Kashi, Shindo Meri Nushena, Shenye Dambar Davarsho, Dona Wasam Yubayi, Pende Manam Guna Bilumai, Nuda Tungangun, Samendala Dambarsho, Deda Gunya Chuyegi, Tobe Time Mabashin, Chunam Gumar Shibilo, Shenbe Chiwa Leju Sho. Tene rindu bella sonye ne kadara imba kanchi sabate lo memari kedo ruwa ku namdengi wo ambo da gyuro je. Okay, I will say this in English also. The meanings must be reflected. 8 verses for mind training, Geshe Damdul Tamba, with the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Okay, Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I've helped or in whom I place great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard them still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of 8 mundane concerns, and may, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort as practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Okay, good. We will do the incantation prayer. English, page 52. Let us pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that he lives long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. And also let us dedicate the merits that all the great teachers in the monastic universities, Sera, Tepung, Ganden, and from Sakya, Kagyu, Nyingma, Gelug, from the Chinese tradition, Theravada tradition, Tibetan tradition, they all live long, and they wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. And let us pray that all these great learning centers, they thrive in the activities of study, reflection, meditation, and that the monastic members, they are harmonious to each other, and the activities collectively grow for the benefit of demon sentient beings. And let all the Buddhist centers such as Kalachakra Center thrive in the activities of the Dharma to help the local people in the pursuit of the greater meaning of their life. And may all those who died of COVID-19 or otherwise as well, may they take a precious human birth to meet with the Dharma of the Bodhicitta, the wisdom and emptiness. Eventually they become the leading light to lead all the demon sentient beings towards ultimate happiness. And let us also pray that all these, the man-made wars, conflicts in the border areas, domestic violence, and all these droughts and so forth, may they subside. And problems in Sri Lanka, the financial crisis, may all they dissolve, and everything comes back to normalcy in line with the Dharma. With this in mind, let us say these 3 verses. I dedicate the matter thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of the Buddhists and the Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of Scripture and insight. May I in all life, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfectly in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort and this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded with ignorance. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata